deliver results. Late Model Racecraft. We talking or we racing?
Welcome back to the channel, guys. Behind me, another super clean 2023 Escalade V. This customer is another local customer in Texas. I actually believe he's in Houston. Started off, he called us. He had already had someone start working on the vehicle before us and kind of had some questions on which route to go. Long story short, just ended up bringing us the vehicle because we've done a lot of these new C8s and the Escalade Vs kind of on the Global B platform. He knew that we knew what we're doing, so he wanted to make sure that expensive vehicle like this was in the right hands. So Mr. Jones, I appreciate you trusting us with it, and it turned out phenomenal. So y'all have seen, those of you that follow our channel, a few Escalade Vs we've done recently. Most of them have been, I call it like bolt-ons only, whether it's just an airbox with a pulley only, and then we've also done one with airbox, upper pulley, as well as a ported blower. The one standing behind me is the first cammed Escalade V we have built to date. So this one has cold air induction system, upper pulley, long tube headers, and a complete cam kit. And when it comes to the long tube headers, guys, no one makes a system for the vehicle behind me, so we have to custom fab the connection pipes underneath the vehicle. But again, his goal was to have something different that not many people have. And guys, an Escalade in general, whether it's a regular Escalade or an Escalade V that has a supercharger on it and then camming at a stoplight, it's pretty hard to beat. It's pretty impressive. People look at you like, what the hell is that I just heard? And with the headers on it, in my opinion, with the stock mufflers, it sounds phenomenal. But enough talking about it, let me show you under the hood. So again, guys, first thing you see when you pop the hood, SMB cold air induction system. For now, we have the stock throttle body on it and the stock supercharger. Because of the cold air, cam, and headers, it makes the engine more efficient, right? So we have to spin the supercharger harder. And to be honest, I'll just go ahead and give you all full transparency. We did the cold air, cam, and headers with the stock supercharger pulley just because for R&D purpose, I just want to see what it made. And it was around 600 rear wheel horsepower. But these things from the factory, let's say, make 10 pounds of boost. When we make the engine more efficient, it drops to 8 pounds of boost. Even though it picks up more horsepower, it just shows you how by doing the cold air, cam, and headers, it eats boost, right? So what we do is we went from 600 rear wheel horsepower to then turning the boost up, spinning the blower a little bit harder. And to be honest, guys, this car runs on 93 octane. He's gonna drive it a lot. I didn't spin the blower as hard as I could and probably will in the future, but for right now, it's a good starting point. Our goal was 700 rear wheel horsepower, and I stopped at 697. So Mike might be mad at me that I didn't give him that extra 3 horsepower, but I've said it many times, guys, a dyno graph is just a tuning tool. And when it comes to the dyno graphs, I know everyone wants that 700 number, but I'd rather it be safe and enjoy it without having anything to worry about. So with that being said, y'all can see the mods done. The headers, we went ahead and obviously put different spark plug wires on it just to make sure they're moved away from the headers so they don't burn in the future. Again, this is gonna be a daily driver that he's gonna drive on road trips with his family. And again, when I start this thing up and y'all hear this thing, it sounds absolutely incredible. So from the outside, it looks beautiful. As always, guys, we offer full ceramic coating and PPF for clear bras to keep your car looking good. A new vehicle like this is a must, in my opinion, especially in Texas with the highways that we have. And then also wheel and tire options. So he chose the Vostons. They're on 24s all the way around. To me, they look excellent with the tire height. I call it, it looks like a performance SUV. You can go bigger. We've done 26s, but it's more of a rubber band style tire, I call it. They're very thin. The sidewall is just not so tall. So in my opinion, I like the 24s, but every customer, wheel and tire is up to them and what they like. So again, looks good. She's ready to rock and roll. I'm gonna start up here in a second, let y'all hear it. I might play with it a little bit here in this parking lot, and then I'm gonna take it for a spin out in the road to get it, open its legs up a little bit farther. All right, so those of you that maybe have an Escalade V and are thinking about modding it, again, guys, this is the highest one that we've built to date, making, I'll call it 700 rear wheel horsepower. Customer like Mike, he's probably gonna drive it for a little bit and bring it back. What we would add is a ported supercharger. And if he doesn't, we have another customer scheduled to come in, I think in the next couple weeks, to do just that, this exact same package with a ported supercharger. And I predict roughly 750 rear wheel horsepower on 93 octane, but I can't guarantee that yet because I haven't done it yet. When it comes to the fuel system, I need to make sure that the low side fuel system can support it to make 750 reliably, which I think it will, but we'll know here in a little bit. So for you Escalade V owners out there, do know that we have, like I said, anything from just bolting on an airbox to probably 3 stages now of packages for these things. And again, we can go up even more from there if you want to add fuel systems on top of it, like I said, just like the 19 ZR1s. So same kind of platform, very similar when it comes to it. It's just a much heavier vehicle, but it's all-wheel drive. This thing sounds so good. All right, guys, got Noah here, all the way from New Jersey, right?
Yep.
Follows our channel. He had 2 weeks off of work, decided to travel the country, went a few places, and decided to stop by and check out the shop. And I was like, you know what? I'm about to go test drive a new Escalade V. Why don't you hop in it?
Yeah.
So, if you want, tell your story. What are you doing? Like, you just decided to pull in here, right?
Yeah, I just had some time off from work that I was able to, you know, consolidate together. So I decided, let's do something a little out of the box.
And what made, like, how did you know about us and hear about us?
So I follow Street Speed 717 on YouTube. And obviously he brings all of his Corvettes to you guys. So I started following your YouTube channel and your Instagram and everything.
Nice.
And I love cars. So obviously everything that you guys do is right up the alley that I'm interested in.
And you've been a mechanic for 4 years now, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Word. So I was telling him, and he's like asking about a resume. I said, well, the new shop will be done by the end of this year. We should be in it by the beginning of next year, the latest. So with the extra room, we will need new tech. So yeah, it's possible. We'll need techs. We'll need a lot more people up front. We'll need a lot more everything. So
this thing sounds
again,
awesome.
you have to come back. So you guys out there that do follow our channel, if you ever are in the area, feel free to stop by anytime. Again, once the new shop's open, we'll have plenty more room to accommodate y'all with a much larger showroom. Plus, we're gonna have a lounge area upstairs that overlooks the shop that I think y'all will enjoy.
Yeah.
But
thank you very much for this, by the way. This is awesome.
What'd you think? So he did get to hear it a second ago, first start up.
Yeah.
And what was your, let me turn this down. What was your first impression?
This thing sounds gnarly. Like, I was not expecting it to sound the way that it does. And what I described earlier is something like this should not sound this good, but it's amazing that it does.
And it drives so nice.
Oh, yeah.
It's the best part for me. It's just so look, I'm turning off traction control for now, because this thing is all-wheel drive. Mm-hmm. And we're about to go have some fun, buddy. I put it in V mode, which is just the way, you know, it adjusts the steering, the shocks,
throttle response,
and then
like
same with the shifting and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then it opens up the dual mode muffler. So again, long tube headers, guys, connection pipes, still the factory muffler. So when you're on the highway and you have it closed, it's still pretty quiet. I'm not gonna say it's quiet, but you still hear it. And then when you want a little bit louder, you can open it up like we just did. Depends on who's driving it and where you're headed. But you're going into a car show, you definitely want to open up the back.
Oh yeah.
It sounds sick.
It does.
And so something I didn't mention earlier, guys, this one, we did not have time to get the TCM tuned, so it is still running on a factory transmission tune. So that is something we are going to do next with this one. So it from the factory, it short shifts pretty good. So again, it's still going to run. Fuck, I don't mean to cuss so much. I cuss a lot. It's still going to run very well, but when it comes to like ETs and like quarter mile stuff, it will run a lot better after I'm done tuning the transmission. Even drivability will be a little bit better, but you'll see. I drove it yesterday, and this thing is absolutely a blast to drive. And just the way it sounds, like you said, an Escalade should not sound like this.
No, it shouldn't.
You know. So again, traction control is off. I'll just thaw it up.
Oh my god.
Dead hooks and goes, man. And so with StabiliTrack still on, torque management still kicks in a little bit. So right at the hit, it'll pull a little bit of timing and then
yeah,
take
but that's
off.
okay.
But
you don't get any wheel spin at all.
Sick, right?
That's amazing.
And then these things, just like the Vets, you know, you put it in manual mode. You just, you know, downshift it and then just.
Pops.
Oh, and this isn't even a lot. Like we can
do more.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
we can do a lot more with
dude,
the burble.
This is awesome.
Some customers love the burble. Some want extreme. Some don't want so much. For an Escalade V, again, this customer, he's cool. He's definitely a gearhead. He's had multiple cars, so he's okay with the burble. But most Escalades, I didn't want it to be too much.
Right,
if you're
of
driving
course.
it every day, you know what I mean?
Not be overly obnoxious around the neighborhood or something like that.
Exactly. When you're just cruising around, some kid in a Mustang pulls up next to you, you're just like, what? Tapped the rev limit, I didn't hit it fast enough on that one too. It still sounds sick, doesn't it?
That was awesome off the limiter though.
I just didn't hit it fast enough on the one
gosh.
too.
And when you get the trans module tuned,
dude, it'll be night and day.
I don't even have words to describe this thing. Like, jeez. That's ridiculous.
For a grocery getter, man.
That is ridiculous.
Daily driving.
It's a third. It has 3 rows.
Dude, my wife has one. So we have.
Oh my god.
Me and my wife, my 2 boys, or actually my girl and my boy, and then my oldest sits in the back.
Oh my god.
And we need it. We need it. But yeah, we ride comfortably anywhere we want. You want to do one from the back, or you want me to do it when I'm leaving?
When you're leaving, so
okay.
you can get on out and you can continue.
What do you think?
Dude, thank you so much.
Of course, of course. You came by at the right time. You stopped by at the right time, man.
I did. This is sick. Dude, wow.
That's nuts, huh?
This is amazing.
I want to share the driving experience with y'all, how this thing performs with the camshaft in it. Obviously, it's a luxury SUV. Us gearheads want it to go as fast as it possibly can, but we want it to drive nice, especially a vehicle like this, and be reliable. So, in the form it's at right now, 700 rear wheel horsepower. Incredible. I just practiced a few little launches y'all saw back there. Gonna drive it a little bit, just kind of show you how it drives like stock. These things with the 10-speed autos in them, torque converter in it is a little bit larger, stall speeds than like obviously our old LS stuff back in the day, C6s, kind of like the 19 ZR1. So you can get away with putting a decent sized camshaft in this thing and watch, like when I come to a stop, idle drops down beautifully and it's nice and smooth. From the outside, you hear it camming pretty good. but from in here, I have it so it's not rocking side to side. 'Cause like I said, Mr. Jones is gonna drive this thing with his family, and I don't think his wife would probably appreciate it shaking side to side, which we can do that if we wanted to in the future. But for this particular car, again, it's a performance SUV that we want to run as good as possible, but I want it to drive nice. You know, I'm acting like if it was mine and my family, this is how I would want it to drive. The exhaust, I do have it open, so this is as loud as it will get. And again, to me, it sounds great. On the highway, I mean, it's pretty quiet, especially when you close it. It is louder than stock, but nothing that I think your wife or kids will be like, oh my gosh, it's so loud. Obviously, until we step in it and have some fun. But just normal cruising like this, no cam surge, it drives just like stock. The main difference, again, having the long tube headers on it for the sound, and then once we get on it, the blower noise. Because we are spinning the supercharger harder, you hear a little bit more whine from the supercharger. But right now, again, guys, I'm just checking normal cruising. I want to check my fuel trims, and then when we go to play with it, make sure that the air fuel is nice and safe, timing is nice and safe, because these are heavy vehicles, they're not like Corvettes, so we have to make sure that it is safe to beat on it. And like I said, this customer is going to use it, so 93 octane is a must. And if he knows he's going to, you know, go out and just kill it for a weekend, you know, he can put a fuel additive in it just to make sure he has good 93 in it. But it's not a necessity for at the horsepower level that we're at right now. All right, so I'm about to play with it. Don't know if I'm going to try to go from a dig to log it, or I can just go from a low roll. My main thing I want to do is get it into higher gear, because obviously I wasn't able to do that earlier. 4th or 5th, just to check the tune-up to make sure everything's nice and safe. Again, these are heavy. You put them under a big load with boost. We want to make sure it's nice and safe. To have an SUV do what that just did. Put it in manual mode, downshift this thing. Now that is fun as hell, and I think that's probably what Mike's gonna do. Stoplight to stoplight stuff, and just little short bursts like that when someone pulls up next to you, just to have fun with your own vehicle. So much fun. Again, all in all, Cadillac knocked this one out of the park. This thing is incredible. So as always, guys, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button for future content. Like I said, we have many more of these in the pipeline. The next one coming in should have around 50 rear horsepower more than this one. That's the plan. We'll see what happens when we get it. And I have a feeling Mike will end up porting the supercharger on this one later as well. So again, comment on this video, guys. Let me know what you think about this platform and what we did with it, and other things y'all would like to see on this channel, or other things y'all would like to see done to an Escalade V. Until next time, guys.